Welcome to beautiful beach Copacabana, in Rio de Janeiro. It's mid of July, so there are not so many people. Actually, there are more people than there are more street vendors on this. I call them, without being, rude, human cockroaches. But really, I've been here 1 hour and like 50 without generating people shouting, screaming, your eardrums are exploding, trying to sell you some crap, I mean, a lot of, you see like a lot of homeless people here, So, but I would say the beach is beautiful, but this is the problem, I mean, it depends if you wanna see the bottle half full or half empty. I'm trying to be positive guy, but obviously a lot of human cockroaches in the world. And I think the biggest problem in the world is the lacking of condoms. It's not a disruptive technologies. It's not one of the biggest economical crises coming because capitalism is all obviously exhausted after 200 years. People don't realize that this concept, which started like pick up in the end of 19th century, is over, It's just, it didn't need even 150 years and people so surprised. But before there was a feudalism, we are entering actually in something which is called already, we've been into capitalistic feudalism. So there is no really difference, because if you work from, let's say 9 to 5, 4 weeks per day, then this lady was before offering me marijuana and cocaine, so yeah, this is the street vendors I've been talking about. So I'm talking about is that if you work 5 days per week, 4 weeks per year, 4 weeks per month, 12 months per year, and let's say from your 20 to 50 years old, from your 20 to 70 years old, 50 years, let's say, you giving 83.5% of your life to your boss, you see. And that's what I call a slavery. And you have no chance to enjoy your life, and you got just a fragment of the money. And Marx was right, actually. The capitalism is exhausting itself, and there will be singledom, and the know-how of making products, the procedure of making it, of producing different products. This procedure will be singularized, so it means there will be singularity, and you can see who offers services like taxi. It's not different kind of taxi services, it's only Uber, because the old taxi is dying, right? And that's how it is. Yeah, so you see, I don't think so you use something else than Uber or maybe the other service, Lyft. You don't use the other services, then the Lyft will die out eventually, and then it will be Uber, right? Then what else, I don't know. I don't think so you too much watching TV, analog TV. You're watching either or you, what kind of browsers internet you using? Of course, I guess it's Google, right? Maybe using Yahoo, maybe the others, but eventually it will be just a Uber, so it will be just a Google, right? Google and Uber, right? Yeah, so I don't know what's the other example. For example, what kind of, I don't know, streaming services using Netflix, using Apple TV. Okay, there is still some competition, right? HBO, whatever, but you see, it's just a few, yeah? After all, there will be just one hegemony. What kind of social networks using? It's usually Twitter, but Facebook, WhatsApp is owned by one guy. So I guess, where Marx was heading to. I'm not a communist, I'm from former communist country, Czechoslovakia, where I was born, and for the last 15 years I've been living in Philippines, Sri Lanka, Cyprus, Canada, US, Spain, and Austria. So now it's my 10th country in South America, in Brazil, and I'm heading to 11th one, to Panama this year. And when I'm traveling around the world, I can see this, that Marx was really genius, because the communism was nonsense. It's a beautiful thought, it will never work because people are animals. Woo! and they always, like George Orwell says, they are down, up, and middle. Hey, alto risco. That's what the life is about. So beautiful beach. So obviously we know that what will happen is that there will be just one provider of taxi, one browser, internet. There will be one most probably type of food service or supermarket, right? There will be maybe one or two service factories which produce cars, for example, or planes, or one kind of service which provides air tickets. So Marx was right that everything is getting into the singleton. Everything's going into the one main monopole capitalist. Eventually now a lot of cartels. And I don't mean the Colombian, Mexican and Venezuelan on the southern border of USA which collapsed. So a lot of people, so we live in some kind of feudalistic capitalism, and the biggest tragedy, wow, look at the waves, wow, I love it. Yeah. Jesus Christ, woo. My friend, it's alto riesgo, seriously. I love it. Beautiful beach. I would recommend you go in June, July in Rio, because there are not so many people. The water is still hot, and the worst is the season, So let us see on the end how much is possible to hear what I'm saying. But this is my thoughts, contradictive, very dark thoughts, contradictive to this beautiful beach. Let's look back a little bit. There's the Copacabana, and here starts Ipanema. Maravilloso town. It means in Portuguese like beautiful or very great or marvelous. Maravilloso. Gustoso means really delicate, really sweet, enjoyable. That's how they call Rio de Janeiro. It means maravilloso town. So it's true. It's really beautiful. The beaches are beautiful here, and out of the season is the most beautiful ones. They are most beautiful ones. As well, there is a less pollution, because otherwise there is quite pollution compared to other towns like Buenos Aires, Montevideo. The pollution in Rio is quite, it is there, Just like in Lima, in capital of Peru, there is a huge pollution. Not so much in Bogota or Medellin. I was surprised. The air seems to be clean in Colombia. As well, Ecuador, in Quito. But Peru, and I don't know about the rest of the Brazil, but Rio is quite polluted. Not Argentina, not Chile, not Uruguay, so it's interesting. Yeah, so that's the times where we are heading to, ladies and gentlemen. That's the times. Capitalistic feudalism, and the worst tragedy, I think, of this beautiful planet are these tech billionaires. Because in times of let's say Middle Age, the king was not so rich